Now, the news from Afghanistan is also making an impact on families right here in the Miami Valley. Miamisburg's Paul Rocky Zanowick II was killed in action in Afghanistan 10 years ago. In a story you'll only see on Dayton 24/7 Now News, Rocky's parents tell us how the images out of Afghanistan are impacting them now.
Rocky's family lives less than a mile from the Veterans Memorial Park here in Miamisburg. Their son's name sits on a stone right here in the park, but they tell me their hearts are in Afghanistan. Even though it's been 10 years since their son was killed there, they say these recent events are making their emotions even more intense.
I don't want to believe that this was for nothing. I really don't.
The Zanowicks share in the heartbreak of families across the country after learning of the deaths of 13 service members in Afghanistan. For Paul and Annette, it hits too close to home.
Our son and all of these 2,462 people, that Marines and airmen and soldiers that have lost their lives in Afghanistan, died trying to help change the hearts and minds of the people there.
Paul Zanowick II was killed in action in Afghanistan on June 3rd, 2011. His parents dressed in red, as they do every Friday, to remember everyone deployed. Today they worry of what's to come.
There still are a lot of military deployed out there.
Nanette says she knows how the families of those deployed are feeling right now.
Their loved ones deployed, but the family left behind. They're mentally deployed with their loved ones.
Those families that are getting that knock on their door just within the last 24 hours, do you have any message that you guys would like to share with them?
What I would say to those families is hug your loved ones. Get support from people that can help you.
The Zanowicks say they attended grief counseling through the VA after their son's death. Trauma Recovery Clinic Programs Manager at the Dayton VA, Dr. Kristen Rodzika, says it's normal for those feelings of grief to come back.
I think that it is perfectly understandable for people to be feeling frustrated or angry, and especially for those who have sacrificed or know people who have sacrificed abroad.
She says it's important to continue connecting with loved ones.
One of the most important things you can do is staying engaged in your activities.
Zanowick says those grieving the loss of a service member for the first time will join a network of others.
Unfortunately, now they've joined a family that nobody wants to be part of. And we'll be there for them.
If you or someone you know is struggling with the news coming out of Afghanistan, there are resources available to you. We have links to several tools right now on Dayton247now.com. Just click on this story on our homepage. And of course, you can always call the Veterans Crisis Line. That number is right now on your screen. It's 1-800-273-8255. Then press 1. Reporting live in Miamisburg, Chelsea Sick, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
I've known every Israeli prime minister since Golda Meir.
Meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, President Biden mourned the loss of the 13 U.S. troops killed in Thursday's terror attack in Kabul and vowed to complete the U.S. evacuation mission there, with no mention of extending the August 31 deadline.
We've evacuated more than 12,000 additional people out of the airport in the last 24 hours.
Bennett made clear the Israelis sympathize in the struggle against terrorism.
We've got ISIS on our southern border, Hezbollah on our northern border, Islamic Jihad, Hamas, and all of them want to kill us.
Afghan authorities now say more than 170 Afghans were killed in the attack by the ISIS Khorasan terror group, now revealed as a lone suicide bombing, not two, as officials previously said. With the Taliban still in charge of perimeter security at Kabul airport, Pentagon officials acknowledged Friday they cannot rule out the group's possible complicity in the attack.
We've not been certain about that at all. There'll be an investigation, and I really don't want to get ahead of that process.
Current and former U.S. officials continue to warn publicly that U.S. troops in Kabul will likely be attacked again.
It was a risk that always existed as long as this evacuation is taking place, and I think it'll exist right until the very end.
And making good on this vow from the president,
"We will hunt you down,"
is considerably more challenging, military analysts said, as a result of the troop withdrawal.
So then the issue is tracking those cells. And that's unfortunately what I think we've lost a lot of as we move forces out of Afghanistan.
Republican leaders intensified their criticism of the commander-in-chief.
This isn't the tested leadership the president promised. It's a picture of weakness and incompetence.
Asked if the president believes he has received any bad advice from the generals who report to him and whether he will seek resignations from any of them, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said no to both questions. On Capitol Hill, James Rosen.
Now, the state is receiving some help tonight from Ohio Task Force 1, the search and rescue team deploying for the first time since the Surfside condo collapse last month. Dayton 24/7 Now's Mamie Ba was with the team before they hit the road. She has more tonight from Vandalia. Mamie.
The activation order came in around 11, but the team tells me they knew this was coming. One Ohio Task Force member based in the Miami Valley and who also responded to the Florida condo collapse tells me he's ready physically and mentally.
This is all part of why we're a part of the team, is to be able to help out when natural disasters hit.
That's why Ohio Task Force 1 is hitting the road once again, this time Louisiana.
This isn't their first hurricane.
And this isn't Neil Patnood's first time responding. He works for the City of Dayton Fire Department, but he's been with the task force for about 6 years.
I went out with Hurricane Laura last year.
The Type 3 Urban Search and Rescue Team was activated for response to Louisiana for Hurricane Ida. The team's program manager says they've been tracking Ida.
This one's kind of coming quick. Didn't catch us off guard. We had a meeting scheduled for 9:30 this morning to start doing the rostering.
The storm is expected to reach major hurricane strength and predicted to be a Category 4 storm. The team deployed there twice last year for Hurricane Laura and Delta about a month later.
We're kind of going back to the same place that we spent much of last year at. The team is very accustomed to hurricane deployments, so from that perspective, this isn't a big challenge for us.
45 members are on this mission. Some were among the group that responded to the Florida condo collapse in June, a mission many members felt was mentally draining.
We've made a lot of mental health resources available to those team members, so we've been tracking that quite closely since we've come home.
For Neil Patnood, who was also deployed to Florida, those resources have helped.
Being able to talk with other guys who were there and you know, being able to talk things out and whatnot, it helps out a lot.
The program manager tells me given what Ida could turn into, the team may be deployed for a week or more. I'm told the team will arrive before the sun sets tomorrow evening, 24 hours ahead of the storm's landfall. Reporting in Vandalia, Mamie Ba, Dayton 24/7 Now News.